All right. What's going on this Saturday? This is a little sneak preview for you. Something a little sneaky I'm going to drop in today. Didn't let anybody know I was going to do this Saturday event. So I'm not going to keep you long. Hope that your Christmas shopping is going amazing. And that's what I really want to talk about is how we relieve some of the stress of this holiday shopping, holiday, holiday sort of purchasing gifts and making sure that everybody on your list who's been naughty or nice receives a gift. But I have a few other things that I really want to talk about that have really been on my mind and also have really consumed a lot of our social media. And I just want to bring up a few other perspectives that I really haven't heard about people talking about some of those issues that they are so consumed with. And it really I really want to put another twist on it and let you a little something for you to marinate and let me know in the comments about what you think. So actually, if you want to leave a comment, you can leave it at Rory T. Edwards 1 at gmail.com. That's Rory T. Edwards 1 at gmail.com. Or you can definitely, if you want to talk more about some of the things I'm going to talk about today, you can definitely book your initial consultation at www.rorytedwards.com. And hopefully we will be able to provide you with an absolutely amazing plan of execution. But there's three things I'm going to talk about. And even though I'm talking about holiday stress, I'm going to leave that for the last one because it sort of has a positive twist on it. And I just want to give you people an opportunity to leave you with a positive message and give you a little fruits of information that will give you the opportunity to marinate on what I'm about to say for these other two events. So let's jump right into those. So most of you know, and most of you have been part of the conversations. I'm going to start off first. And I usually don't do this, but I'm going to do it now because there's a few little perspectives that I want to talk about that are also inclusive into developing your own mental wellness and mental resiliency. And so there's been so many conversations about prime time, Deion Sanders and him leaving Jackson State, going on to Colorado. Now, I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it right where I leave it. And that's where I am going to sort of just open it up for you to do what you have to do. But in our journey of developing our own program, our own legacy, we have to realize that there's going to be some situations that we're going to have to make that are not going to be popular to people, to other people. But in developing our own journey, we have to realize that we make the decisions and we live with the outcomes. And now, for those people who I've seen so many posts about Deion not being loyal to Jackson State, Deion being selfish, but Deion did something that was a decision by Deion. And so, if you all had take all of the energy that you spend on trying to critique what Deion should have did and critique what you should be doing, then guess how better your life would be. I mean, if we're talking about financial stability, I mean, yeah, he's leaving 300,000 going to 5 million. How many of you, if your job came up to you today and you're making $25 an hour and they said, well, I'm going to move you to another position, a lateral move, but I'm going to move you to a different company down the street. And now that you're making $25 an hour, I'm going to give you $500 an hour. How many of you would leave all your pictures and everything on the desk and get up and go? So for those who are saying Deion was not loyal to Jackson State, as a person who attended Jackson State, that field that Deion revamped looked the same as it did when I went there. And that was almost 40 years ago, over 40 years ago. And so when you talk about what he brought not only to Jackson, what he brought to the SWAC, what he brought to the players who play at the SWAC was an amazing feat within 3 years. So what needs to happen, instead of people complaining, make sure you find another person who takes over and can do the same thing and to also grow on some of the things that Deion has put in place. Now, if he leaves and all of those resources leave, then that means the person who was brought there was not capable of building on those relationships that were made. And so I just applaud Dion for making a decision about his life because he had a plan of what he wants to do. If he wants to coach in the NFL, he's going to have to produce NFL players. And so when you go to a program that has the ability to give you the resources and the attention of giving you access to be able to do that, then you're making the right decision for your life. And it wasn't a very selfish decision because you see, if you looked at it, he brought his whole family with him. He brought his whole family, so it wasn't something he did undercover. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm just telling people that I'm going to leave you with my. So what did I learn from that? What did you learn from it? To learn, what I want you to learn from this is that if you take all of the energy that you spend critiquing, talking about what somebody else needs to do, and not looking in the mirror and telling yourself what you need to do to develop your life to be the life that you want, then you're doing a disservice to yourself. So I just want to say that. Let's talk about the second thing that everybody's been talking about. I know so many people in Georgia are happy that Herschel Walker did not win the seat over Reverend Warnock. But let me explain something to you, because everybody's talking about Herschel being ignorant. How could you allow a dumb person like that to enter into the United States Congress and Senate actually seat? But have you really looked at all of the education of all of the senators? Do you think everybody in there has PhDs and master's degrees and bachelors? There's quite a few number of individuals in there who barely have a high school diploma. So you're talking about one individual who is not intelligent or not well versed. And what you're doing is saying that he's not smart enough to be a United States Senator. Well, let's look at it from this perspective. Uh, Herschel went to school. He went to junior high school. He went to high school. He went to college. And why are you not addressing the educational institutions that had custody of this individual and to make sure that he developed into a viable citizen that you want to designate as ignorant? Why is nobody talking about the educational system? How did he get through all of these institutions, junior high school, college, and not be able to articulate any message? You can't blame it on him being ignorant or him being this or him being that. What about the system that was entrusted with developing his intellect? What about the system? The system failed him. It's not that he failed. He was accepted in the system because of his athletic ability, right? And the other thing is Herschel did graduate cum laude of his school, because Herschel made more money than anybody in that era for the University of Georgia. So he was the number one graduate, even though he may not have graduated. He was the number one senior in that class, even though I don't think he went to senior. I think he left his junior year, but I'm not sure. But, for those who want to find a flaw in what I'm saying, go research that, all right? But the thing is that we are talking about this man being ignorant, but we're not talking about the system that was responsible for his intellectual ability. They failed him. And that's the thing that I'm talking about when I speak to these individual athletes and families and communities now, is that you are allowing the system to exploit your child just to get through a process of being eligible to play sports. You're not worrying about what's going to happen later after their eligibility is up. You are wanting them to play right now, regardless of how intellectually gifted they are. Because after the sports is over, um, you're not going to be able to take care of yourself or even to be able to supply an income for yourself to live a viable life, because you're so worried about that individual playing right now. You don't care if they know how to talk, if they know how to read, if they know how to count, if they know how to write in cursive, anything like that that's going to have to take place if they do make it to the professional ranks and sign a contract. So I think that when we're talking about things, we need to stop being so reactive and be a little proactive on what is the actual what is the actual question that we should be asking? Right? What is the actual question that we should be asking? And so those are my two things. And I want to go to my third one, which was really about I was in the store yesterday and I heard so many frantic people trying to purchase things and to try to say, oh my God, I'm going to be broke. I'm running my credit cards up and I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, this is what I do know. This is what I do know. That if you provide someone else with a blessing, it will open up the doors of you receiving a blessing. So I was looking at some statistics and I saw that there are so many families who have access to excess toys, clothing, uh, electronics, just different things that they purchased the year before and never after the children played with them for 2 weeks they became obsolete. They went into the closet, they went into a storage bin, they went into something else. There's clothes that you purchase in the closet that still have tags on them. You know what the great thing would be? There's still so many families who are affected by the pandemic and have not recovered fully and are at lines to receive food, at our lines to receive clothes, are in lines to receive toys for their children. Now, if you just went into your closet and purged a little bit and took some of the things that you purchased last year for your children that they don't even play with now, and you donated those to organizations that are trying to provide for the needy, just think how that's going to open up the doors of the Creator blessing you. So I'm just putting that little charge out there to people. Instead of sitting around talking about you trying to purchase the things for your family and loved ones this year, why don't you look first and foremost for the next 14 days about purging the stuff that you've already purchased and supplying that to an organization or a family that could really use that stuff, and to give them an opportunity to also celebrate the holiday spirit with the gifts that you will give to them. So instead of sitting around talking about what people don't have, look at what you have and provide a little bit of that to those who don't have. You'll realize how much you will be blessed in that process. And so with those three things, again, like I told you, if you'd like to, you can definitely send me an email, rorytedwards1@gmail.com. You know, I welcome all conversations. I welcome mostly, I'm going to welcome positive conversations. So if you have something negative to say, please keep it to yourself, because I don't do all of this Facebook bantering. I don't do that. I don't do social media bantering. If you have a negative thought, you please keep it in your negative spirit, because I just don't receive it. Okay. And if you have something that you wanna share, or if you have a topic that you want to listen or talk about, please send me a request on my website at www.rorytedwards.com. All right, 14 more days before the holiday is fully upon us, and then we will be moving. Um, what's that? That's 21 days before it's 2023. Gosh, time has flown. I hope you have had a productive year. And if you are having a productive year, or if you're not having a productive year and you want to wait till 2023, please don't wait until 2023. The best way to get over the wall is to start climbing once you get to the wall. All right. And that's my message for today. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. If you're in a chilly place, stay warm, stay safe, and especially if you're in a place of decision, sit down, take a little time, be proactive in your decision, not reactive, and don't respond to how everybody else is responding, because the only thing that's going to happen, as soon as the first person goes over the cliff, it's going to be a domino effect. Everybody's going over the cliff with them. So be your own person, stand up on your own morals, beliefs, integrity, and identity, and you will fulfill your purpose. Until we talk, this is your man, Dr. Rory T. Edwards, with another version of House Calls. All right, you be well. Ashe.